It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. So today we're going to be having a look at the Akko 3084SP Ocean Star keyboard. Now this keyboard has been provided to me courtesy of Banggood, so thank you very much for Banggood sending this to me to review. However, despite the fact that they've sent me this keyboard, everything and anything that I say is 100% my opinion, as regular viewers of this channel would know. So anything that I find that I don't like, dislike, have problems with, I will call it out, no matter what. But I do try to stay positive about the products that I look at, because if you're going to end up spending your money on it, you want to be, I suppose, looking for the upsides that might counter the downsides you might be able to change. Whether it's swapping out switches, lubricating them, tightening things up, putting in weights or foam, and all those other options available. So of course, as per usual, because we're having a look at a product review, let's see what the listing for the actual product says, what we're anticipating that we're going to see, and we can compare that. So here is the listing. You can see it goes for about $90 US. I was pretty lucky that it came quite quickly, because there is actually supposedly stock within Australia. Now, it is a 75% keyboard to my reckoning, because it has the function row plus the additional column of switches on the right hand side. Not quite a 10 keyless, because it doesn't have that classic 10 keyless form factor to it. Have a couple of switch options here. It does say cherry switch, so whether they're going to be legitimate cherry switches or not, or they're just talking about an MX switch, not 100% sure. The features on this one that I really do like straight off the bat is the fact that it's got front print keycaps. I'm a really big fan of front print keycaps, because one of my first boards that I got, which was the Philco Magistouch, actually came with front print, and I really like that look. Keeps it nice and clean from the top down as well. So you can kind of see that's what they've got going there. Now there's a video that somebody else has done. They're talking 84 keys plus functions, cherry switches, it's wide USB-C, PBT keycaps, okay, so that's cool. The lateral seal, I don't even know what that means. The lateral seal says it's about 1 kilogram. There's some function keys going on here with a little bit of multimedia control, I guess. Play, pause, next, previous. Then of course you've got some volume and even the old calculator. I love that it tells you that you can hold the C in your hands. Well, I guess if you have this in your hands and you've got a shell to your ear, you'll be fully immersed in the ocean experience. Maybe? I don't know. This is really interesting because it's got a dust cover. So I'll be keen to see what that looks like, because none of the pictures, I think, actually show the dust cover. Yeah, so there's no picture about the dust cover. And when they talk about known function keys, they're actually talking about, I think, extra keys that are white. What is it? You want it to go in? Is it because you got your cardboard stuck out? There we go. Alright. So, I don't think it's so much that they're function keys, so much as you can just swap them out, and they're white accent keys. Because you can see from here they've got light waves. I think they got their colors mixed up, because the light waves should be the blue, the dark waves should be the darker blue, and the foam color should be the white, whereas they've got the foam color and the dark waves mixed up. Good job. Good job, graphics people. Good job. What can I say? Alright, so this is what you're kind of expecting. The only thing that's a little bit weird is, because it doesn't really talk about macros in this listing, is it talks about a synchronized Akko macro. Use full key programming chipset, supports macro, support firmware update, can constantly modify and enhance functions. But it doesn't talk about how to do that. So unless if they're just talking about the pre-programmed function, which it very well could be, but how much firmware update are you going to need for updating these features? I don't know. Right, let's switch over to the desktop. Here it is. Now, unlike the usual orange Banggood bagging, I suspect, because this came from local warehouse. They just used a plain, and then there's a shipping label on this side that I've tried to tear really poorly. It is still fully sealed, as you can see in the bag here. It hasn't been opened. Once again, very disappointing that it did not come with any protection for the outside of the box. I'm sure there might be some protection inside the box, but it would be nice, because you can see it's been beat around a bit. It's got stretches, it's got cuts and tears, so the Postal Service has not been kind to it at all. Yes? Do you need help for anything? No? Okay. So, let's tear this out. Rightio. And have a look. I've got that upside down. There is the outer package, the 3084 Special, the SP Ocean Star. Take that out. Bit of damage, as you can see. What I was talking about, it coming through Australia Post Transit was not the best of times. So we've got cherry browns. It's actually labeled with the cherry switches. Water and beverages can't be poured into the keyboard. Well, I'm glad that they've put that warning there. It's right there. Warning and beverages can't be poured into the keyboard. So if you have a spill, well, too bad. It's pretty much the same information that they've given us. Programmable hardware with macro capability. So it is claiming that there is macros available. Listing briefly mentions it, doesn't go into it. So we'll have a look at that. Akko gear, and then nothing happening on the sides. Let's slide it out. Classic purple logo, very similar to other Akko products. And there we have it. So, dust cover, alright, it's not bad. We've seen it before on some other keyboards. What was that last one I looked at? It was the Akko, the one that had the little roller bar on it? I think it had a very similar thing, and you can see it's got the Akko logo on it. It's thin, it's flimsy, but look, it works as a dust cover, it's molded, so that's pretty cool. What is really interesting is this bottom row is just one straight molding. So I don't know why they didn't split that up. Is it because you can change the bottom row options? I didn't think this was a hot swappable board, but the rest of it is actually individually molded. Sorry? Yeah, there's another cover. That's just a little bit of protective foam. So let's just put that aside for the moment, because we're not going to need that dust cover. Let's take out the keyboard, and underneath here we've got a manual, and then we've got our extra bits and pieces. So we've got the spare keycaps. We've actually got a decent puller, so it's not one of those horrible plastic things, although it's interesting that it's bright pink, I suppose to match the Akko branding there. But it's a wire puller. Yeah, it is pink. I know you like that. So that's actually pretty cool that they've given you a proper puller. And the USB cable. So 1.6 meters is what that's supposed to be. Let's see if I can just temporarily bosh that back in. We'll balance that somewhere else. Put that on my wife's chair. Okay. There you go. That's what it looks like. Light colors, dark colors, and as you can see from top down, you can't really see the legends, but the front print is right there, which is actually really, really nice. Let's get a bit of a close-up so you can see the front print. In terms of profile, it's actually... Yes, Ariete. Yes, there's letters on the side. That's right, they're front print. So profile-wise, it is OEM. You can tell just with the way that the height of those keycaps are that it's OEM profile, but that's okay. Most, I suppose, manufacturers of this nature will be using the OEM keycaps. Now, I noticed that it's actually got flip-out feet, here. So you can see there's the tally plate. Touch the fashion. Whoa, look at what a statement to make. It says, Akko Gear Shenzhen touched the fashion since 2016. Touch the fashion. I've got dual flip outs, which is nice if you want to get a bit of angle happening there. It's quite solid. And yeah, where do we start? Let's start with a flex test since I've got this in my hands. So we're just going to apply a bit of flex to that. It's quite firm. I'm very impressed with that. It's quite rigid. A little bit of flex, nothing too crazy, and it seems to be restoring back. And if I put that down, yep, it's gone straight back. It doesn't rock. Now, it being 1 kilogram in weight, I suspect the metal plate is going to make a big difference to how stiff that actually is. Yes, what is it? They can't see you, by the way. The camera's too high, all right? And they can't hear you because you're not talking very loudly either. So, where do we go from here? I guess let's have a look at our PBT keycaps and stabilizers. Stabilizers is really important on boards like these. So let's take off the enter key. Aha! Okay. So, I guess the first thing is keycap thickness. Right, so there is some PBT. It looks pretty even. I've got this going on. There you go. So the micrometer says we are 1 millimeter, just over 1 millimeter.
Look at my picture.
Look at your picture. Oh, who's that with the rainbow?
Me.
That's you? Okay. It's just on 1 millimeter on that axis. Sorry, on that front surface. Just over 1 millimeter. Wow. And on the other side, it's just over 1 millimeter. So, pretty standard. I mean, if these are PBT, I guess they've got that rough texture to them. It's not super smooth like you would expect from, say, an ABS keycap, but it's not very stippled, is really the best way I want to describe that. And there's the front print. The actual print quality is pretty clean. It's pretty crisp. Stem formation's pretty good. Okay, now in terms of switches, so what they've got is north facing. They are cherry switches, or at least they've got cherry stamped on them, but there's no LEDs, which is, I suppose, not advertised to have LEDs in there. And you can see they're using plate mounted stabilizers. What I do find really interesting is the fact that the red stems on these plate mounted stabilizers compared to, say, black ones. You keep putting them in, you keep putting your crayons and see how the box is bending. Okay, that's because the cardboard, this little flap, right, is getting caught in it, right? So, I'm just going to grab my tweezers and I'm going to jiggle them and see how they respond. They're moving all right. Bit of wobble in there, and I don't see any lube on these. So if they are lubricated, they're factory lubricated. It's not very visible. Let me just tilt that up to the light, maybe see if there's anything visible on it. No. It doesn't look like there's any lubrication, but they do feel quite smooth, so I don't really have too much of a complaint. And of course, it being a classic brown, it's your classic scratchy brown. You can even probably hear it. I can definitely hear it. I can definitely feel it. I'm just going to pop the space bar. And let's have a look. Yep, so they've got the same red stabilizers going on there, and there is what looks to be maybe some lube. Yes, Ariete. Okay. So on this left-hand one, you can kind of see. I'm just going to move my microphone. I'm going to bash it. All right. So you can see there's this stuff on the wire there. So it does look like there is lube, but on the other side, you can't really see it. Maybe there it is, just a little bit on the bend, just a little bit on the corner of that wire. So it does look like it comes factory lube, which I suppose is nice that it's got that, but it's not very heavy on the lube. But of course, switches are being the switches. Plate, metal. Yep, it's a powder coated metal. It's not an anodized metal, or it's painted. Oh, you've got your bookmark on. You got your monster bookmark on. Good job. Do you want to show people your monster bookmark? Yeah? You're going to hold it up so that they can see it. Now, over this way. This way. Yeah. Okay? You made that, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Good job. Yeah, so it's kind of like a painted, I wouldn't really call it powder coated, but it's quite a really nice, smooth, even paint coat on that. Probably like spray painted, booth painted metal, which it works. It works. It's cool. Now, if you wanted to mod this, I'm not sure how. Yeah, you could do it. So there's definitely some screws visible. Normally I would expect to see screws around there, but there isn't any, and that's okay. Just going to put that back down. But you can see that there are some screws that are visible and accessible, like over here in the corner between the escape and the function keys. So there is a screw right there. So you'll probably find a couple more once you start taking keycaps off, and that'll allow you to take it apart if you want to do some modding. There's another screw right there in the corner. Well, let's plug it in. Let's do some typing. Maybe get a little bit of a sound sample going, and then we can see what our thoughts are about this in the end. Yeah, just under 1.5, just on 1, just over 1, just over 1. So fairly consistent. Definitely not a 1.5 keycap, but not a under a 1 millimeter keycap either. Now, probably should look at the manual also and see what it talks about in regards to the programmability factor. Maybe let's just do that before I plug it in, since I've got it here. It's probably going to be in a bunch of languages, maybe. So, interesting, it says 1 kilo, but in here it mentions 0.85 and 0.7. 0.85 is the 3084, which is what this is. 0.7 is the 3068. So that's the 84. And that's the 68, which does not have the function row. Okay. And this is all in Chinese so far. And this is all in Chinese. Good job. This is all in Chinese. Okay, but what we can see here is there is a section that talks about acro macros. V1. So there's function escape win keys, and then there's something about macro V1s down here, which I can't read. So there must be something going on with that, but this must be a workflow on how the macro works. So yeah, if you can translate that, then fantastic. Right, so that's not much value. And what are you doing with Bunny? You're having a bit of fun with Bunny on the stream, on the video? Yeah? Alright, well you can keep playing with Bunny there if you like. Daddy's going to plug in this keyboard. I'm going to do some typing with it, okay? Right, so you've got standard connectors. There was a cover on the USB-A side, but not on the USB-C side, which would have been cool if they had one on both. Yes, Ariete. No, that one doesn't fit on Daddy's full-size keyboard because it's designed to cover this one. Yes, because that one is bigger. Now, if you want people to hear you, you have to talk louder because they're not going to hear you. The microphone's all the way over there. Okay, so let's get that plugged in. A nice solid connection. And there it is plugged in. So let's just get a... Oh, what's just happened? Somehow it switched me over. Oh, was it because you were touching something? No, don't go pressing Daddy's keyboard over there, please. Alright, it's still connected and it still works. Alright, what do I want? I want Notepad. Okay, so let's get Notepad open. I can move. There's Notepad, alright, and we'll do some typing. So this is the texture on these keycaps. I know it says it's PBT, but they feel really powdery. I don't know what's a really good way of describing it, but it doesn't really have the same amount of texture that I would normally expect out of a PBT keycap. But they're okay. I'm sure I'd get used to it pretty quickly, but I do feel like with your finger oils on this, you're going to start to get some shine happening relatively quickly. So I'm going to move the microphone over now. I'm going to do a bit of typing, and you can get a feel of the sound that this gets using the cherry brown switches in them. Okay? Ariete, Daddy's going to do some typing. Can you not make any sounds while he's doing the typing? Okay? So everyone can hear what the keyboard sounds like. Yeah? Alright. Okay, so hopefully, yes, your finger still hurts. Well, that's because you were using the wrong part of your finger to open that toy. Okay? If you rest it and don't go poking anything, your finger will get better soon. Alright?
It was better a little bit and then it got better again.
It was better, but it got bad, but that's because you kept poking things with your finger. Right. So, you know, let's start looking at wrapping up now. Color scheme wise, I really like it. It's quite a cohesive color theme. I don't know if those white keycaps are absolutely necessary, because when you swap it out thematically, no, you can't show that on the stream, okay? Because that's somebody else's material, okay? Please don't hold that up to the camera. Thank you. Can you put that away? Right? Well, there are product related issues. Daddy doesn't want that showing on the camera, please. Okay, thank you. Children, family life, and trying to make reviews, always entertaining. So I don't know if the white keycaps are necessary. While it fits in thematically, I don't know if it's really required. You could certainly do it if you wanted to, but I quite like this two-tone look. You've already got white because the front print is white. So, but hey, if you don't like OEM and you're going to change it out anyway, then that's fine. The color tone for the case matches really well, really nice, lovely. The actual natural angle of this keyboard is quite good. I like it, and I don't even feel like I need to use the feet. Now, if I flip that all the way up, that is a crazy angle. It is like, we're talking, the back of the keyboard now is, it's almost 4.5 centimeters high, which is hectic. Like, that angle is huge for what it is. So its natural angle is quite nice. I know that Sir Cheddar, Kevin, recently has been looking at sort of low profile keyboards and how high the cases are at the front, and this one is 17 millimeters up the front to the bottom of the case. So it's actually quite low down the front here, and you could reduce the height by using lower profile keyboards too. Keycaps, if that's what you're after. It's got a good solid weight about to it. The rubber feet certainly work. It's not moving very easily or sliding around. I think it sounds quite decent, and with the browns, of course, you probably want to lubricate them because they are really scratchy. You can definitely feel that. Sounds from the keycaps, they've got a certain depth to it, and I think it's that metal plate that really helps, which also, there's a bit of flex, but I'm pushing quite firm on this, and you saw from earlier when I was doing my twist test, it's not really heaving around massively. It's nice also that they've gone with the USB-C, and well, there's some LEDs here I didn't test, so maybe let's just plug that in quickly again. There we go. So caps lock is on. I'm not sure what the other two lights should be. Num lock? Is there a num lock going on here? Well, it can't be num lock. What on earth are the other two lights for? Anyway, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't want to drag this out any longer than I absolutely have to. So, overall, I'm going to give this keyboard, it's going to be a solid 8. I think performance-wise, it would do really well. If you want to take out this and swap the switches for something nicer, sure. By all means, you should be able to access this by taking the case off. It's a good form factor. The keycaps look nice. They've got a good quality about them. They've got a decent sound. The stabilizers are lubed, pre-lubed. But if you want to swap your own, plate mount stabilizers in there, go ahead, do it. Mod it however you like. Good, neat package. And, of course, it's also relatively cool that it does come with a very simple dust cover to prevent you from having your beverages fall into it. Well, there you go. That is the Akko 3084SP Ocean with the front print keycaps. Hopefully I'll have a link below in the description, so if you want to go check it out yourself and see if there's any specials on for this at the moment, if there's any sales, then please do. When you click on links and things like that, that really helps me. And if you're interested in purchasing it, of course, that also helps me to get more stuff to review and generate more videos for you guys to check out. If you like my reviews, if you like the way I talk about keyboards and check them out, please hit that like button. That'll really help me. And if you are not a follower of this channel, please hit that subscribe and bell notification. That's it. That's a wrap. Hopefully my daughter's not too upset because I didn't let her show her toy on the camera. But I'll go and deal with that fallout just in a moment. So thank you again for checking out this video. And of course, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.